episode of Sugarfolk Homemade, the podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been crafting. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. It's been a while. If you are a new viewer, welcome. So glad to have you as well. And I'm Michaela, and I'm coming to you from a small town in North Carolina where I live with my husband and our 3 kids. It has been about 2 months since I have been able to record a podcast episode for you guys, and I just recorded a whole one before this, and first my battery started to die, so I thought, okay, we'll wait and we'll keep on going in a minute, and then I realized the lighting in the video was terrible, so I'm now in a new location. I didn't even think to try and clean up around me because this is not where I was planning on filming, but it's fine. And my phone is plugged into the wall now, so battery percentage should not be an issue. Okay, jumping right in. I figured I'd give you guys a little life update. Feel free to skip past this if you don't care, but I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, New Year, any holidays in between since I've spoke with you. I hope you had a great time, and I hope January has treated you well. January kind of put us through the ringer. So right after the holidays, the 2-year-old, my little boy Sammy, he got sick with a cold. He had a fever for a day. He was fine. Passed it on to his older brother Porter. He got over it pretty easy. Then my daughter caught it, and we ended up in the ER with her because hers had turned into pneumonia. And they thought that she might have COVID, so we got her tested. We had to quarantine. She was on medication. Everybody was coughing their heads off. Life was crazy. Her test came back negative, thank goodness. And then my husband and I ended up getting sick, and I'm pretty sure we had the newest variant based on Google symptoms. We didn't get tested, we just stayed home, and we're fine now. But after this made its round through our house, after we were all sick for weeks, it felt like, finally started to take a minute to breathe, and then we ended up in the ER again because baby Sammy fell from a kitchen chair and landed on the back of his head on the tile floor, which is very hard, and was showing signs of a concussion. He hit his head. I calmed him down. He was really upset, and then he just laid on the floor and went to sleep, and that was a red flag. I said, okay, we're going to the emergency room. We got there, they did a CT scan, they saw something, but they weren't sure exactly what it was, so they wanted to do an MRI, so they sent us by ambulance to a bigger hospital a few towns over. And let me just say, if this was first time mom, me, I would have been in shambles, but I tried to just, remain calm, not even think about worst case scenarios, because it's just not good to ever go there unless you have to, So we get to the other hospital, they do an IV, he doesn't even cry. Angel child. And then they talked about wanting to sedate him for the MRI, and my heart just sunk. Nobody wants to see their baby sedated. So I told him, he's so chill, he's such a good baby, he's a third kid, so he just goes with the flow, he does whatever. I mean, he didn't even cry for his IV, he's good. And so they agreed to try it without sedation, and he was so good. He went to sleep in the MRI machine. It was probably 30-40 minutes long, and he just slept through the whole thing. He was such a champ. And the whole time I'm thinking, wow, he's only being this good because he has a concussion, he's got something, something's going on in there that's causing him to be so chill. But no, he had no signs of damage whatsoever from the fall. He's just an angel child, obviously. No, but they did incidentally find a cyst on his brain in the front of his, behind his forehead right here. And they gave us some general information about that and sent us home. He's fine. We do have to see a neurologist actually I think we're seeing a neurosurgeon in a couple weeks to discuss the future and how we are going to monitor this cyst, find out if it's causing any issues, etc., etc. For now, he's totally fine, being a normal 2-year-old, getting into trouble, still climbing on things. But he's good, and we are thankful that obviously he didn't have any damage from the fall, but also that whatever caused him to just decide to lay on the floor and go to sleep out of his normal personality, we're so thankful that he did that, because now we know that he has this cyst that we would not have found if we didn't take him to get a CT scan. So yeah, January was wild, and it was like one thing after another. We just couldn't catch a break. So I just kind of put my stuff on hold, and I'm back, and I have done a decent amount. So before we get started, I'm gonna have a sip of my orange juice. Bit of a random choice for beverage, I'm aware, but okay, so I did have 3 finished objects, but I don't have any of them with me because they were Christmas gifts. And the first one that I finished was the socks I was making for my friend Catherine. They were the pattern A Little Hocus Pocus by This Handmade Life. And I'll put all the patterns and things that I talk about in the description box. And I didn't take a finished object picture. I don't know why, but I did take this picture of just one that was almost finished, and she loved them. I feel like they were perfect for her. They fit perfectly. I was so excited because I always get a little nervous that things aren't going to fit, but they fit her perfect. And they were really a joy to knit up for me. I was nervous that I wasn't going to like doing like cables on such tiny little needles, but it went by pretty smoothly, and I really enjoyed the process. It didn't take me as long as I thought it would. All in all, it was a success. The next finished object that I made was a beanie for my stepdad. You may have seen it on Instagram. He was making us a coffee table, this table right here, and he said, you know what, all I want in return is a black beanie. And I said, I got you. So I went to the local yarn store that same day, couldn't find any black yarn because I wanted to use the same hat and peak pattern that I had used, I showed you guys in the last episode, but I was just going to omit the color work. So couldn't find a black in the right weight, but I did find this lovely brown, which is almost black. It's close enough, right? He loved it. But first let me put a picture of the hat right here for you to see. So this yarn is, there it is, Erin Moore Light from the Fiber Company in the colorway Siren, and this is a blend of fine merino wool, cashmere, and silk, and it is lovely. Just this brown color with some specks of like red, and there's some little blue specks in here too. There's one. Really nice yarn, and really like the way the beanie came out. The original hat and peak beanie that I made for my husband was too small, and it has been given to my son, but because I omitted the color work from this one, it fit my stepdad perfect. And yeah, it worked out pretty quick. I thought it would go quicker since I wasn't doing the color work, but it still took me just about the same amount of time, mostly because there's like 5 inches of ribbing, and ribbing is like my arch nemesis, and it takes me forever. So yeah, that was another finished object. The next finished object I had was a apron dress that I made for my sister-in-law Patience on my husband's side of the family for Christmas. There's too many of us to try and get a gift for everyone, and then you end up spending like pennies for each person because there's just not enough. So we started just drawing names, so we each have one person to get a gift for, and then you have a bigger budget for that one person. So I drew my sister-in-law's name, and she drew mine, which was perfect because we both have similar styles and hobbies, and just similar, we're just similar. So I made her an apron dress. I'll put a picture here. And the pattern that I used for this was Simplicity 8230, this one right here. This is a Dottie Angel pattern. If you don't know who Dottie Angel is, she's the cutest person on the planet to me. I have a few of her patterns and I just love them. I did omit the pockets because I have one I've showed you guys before. With the pockets, it just, you look at it and it's obviously like an apron, and I wanted it to be more of like a dress that she could wear if she wanted, or use it as an apron. I wanted to be more versatile, so I omitted the pockets and just did the striped fabric, and I think it turned out really cute, and I think she liked it. Yeah, I like this pattern. I've made this one, and I've made this one. Pretty easy pattern to follow, and very cute. And one of the gifts that she made me, I figured I'd show you guys because it's also handmade by her, and it is adorable, is this little like off the shoulder, whoops, that's sticking up, just ignore that, this little off the shoulder top. And so the top is like an old runner, and then it goes down into this old vintage floral. I love it. It's so stinking cute. I can't wait to wear this in the spring and summer with a little belt tied around the waist. Adorable. I love it. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I wasn't able to hook up my microphone because I have my charger in the port where the microphone goes, so I'm trying to project a little bit louder, but hopefully it's all good. Okay, so after that, I'll show you guys a little bit of on some whips that you guys have already seen, so I'm not going to dwell on these too long, but I have been working on this husband. I've been working on this sweater for my husband, and it was supposed to be a Christmas gift. Didn't happen. I told him next Christmas for sure. I think it'll be done before then, but it's just, he's just gonna have to be patient. It's a big sweater. This is the So Basic sweater by Max the Knitter, and I've made a little bit of progress since last time. I just recently picked this back up because it was kind of in hibernation while I worked on Christmas gifts. And this is Sirdar Country Classic yarn, which I believe is a blend of acrylic and wool. I really like the fabric of this. It is soft but also squishy, and it's really nice. But this sweater is taking me a long time because it is fingering weight yarn, and it's only 3.25 millimeter needles, 3.5 millimeter needles. So, I mean, this is a time-consuming project, but it will be done eventually. And I usually just work on this whenever I'm watching TV or something because it's just stockinette at this point. It's a little too boring to work on like when I have free time, when it's just me and I can like focus and stuff. I typically try to find something more challenging to work on in those times, but it'll get done eventually. So that's the progress on that. And the next whip that you guys have seen before is my shawlography. This was also in hibernation, and I just picked it back up. I am now in the brioche section. Wow. It barely fits on this cord, so I'm trying to be careful. I don't have any stoppers on it, as you can see, so that would be tragic if I dropped it. Currently working on the brioche section. Brioche is much simpler than I thought it was going to be. Gosh, I love this thing. For some reason I anticipated it to be very complicated, and maybe it's just the way Stephen West explains it that makes it so simple in the videos, but I have no problem whatsoever with this brioche. I actually really enjoy the process. I've been trying to do like a row on this every other day or something, just to keep it moving along. I'm not in any rush to finish this because it's very much a fall, to me, it's just very fall-y. So as long as it's done by next fall, I'll be happy. I'm sure it'll probably be done before then, but I am making progress on that. Such a fun piece. It's a little wild, it's a little out of what I would typically wear, but I heard someone else say, and I agree, I don't remember who it was, but that the shawlography pattern is almost more like a masterpiece. Like, it's a piece of art, because it's just so intricate and so cool and really fun. So yeah, I'm excited to have it, even though it doesn't necessarily like have companions in my wardrobe. I'm gonna make it work. So those are my whips, and I have 2 new projects. I'm pretty sure I haven't showed you this one yet, but a few episodes ago I did show you guys this yarn that I bought. It's Value Tweed from Michaels, in the color, well, cream. It's just an acrylic tweed. It was super cheap, and we were at Michael's, and I figured I would just pick up a sweater's quantity, and I started knitting the Be Thankful cardigan by Lily Kate France, and I love this sweater. Cannot wait to finish it because I am going to wear it every single day. It's so cute. So this is how far I am. I just finished this first sleeve, and I'm now working over here on the second sleeve, and then I'll have to go in and add the button band on either side, and then it'll be done. I just really like this, and I am a new fan of knitting with bulky yarn because it just goes so much quicker, and it's so satisfying to see things come to life quicker. It's a quicker gratification than like my husband's sweater, which is taking me forever. So this yarn, I don't love to knit with it, I'll be honest, because it is acrylic, and I sometimes get that squeakiness on the needles, and it like makes me cringe every time it happens. And there's not as much give with acrylic yarn, so my tension just feels a little bit different. But all in all, it's been totally fine, and I really like the fabric that it's creating. It's super soft, and this is just such a cozy, this is going to be such a cozy cardigan. I love it. It's so warm. I'm not really worried about the acrylic yarn making it lose its shape through the wash, because I know acrylic does kind of just like get floppy after a while. But this is just a cozy, it can be floppy cardigan. I'm fine with that. I mean, this will be like a $25 sweater, and that to me is fantastic. I do like to use nicer yarns sometimes, but sometimes you just gotta do what fits in the budget, you know? I know you guys know. So that is my Be Thankful cardigan. I also started, sorry if it seems like I'm really flying through this, I just have so much to show and only a limited amount of time. So I started another pair of socks for myself using my West Yorkshire Spinners yarn in Robin. I showed you guys this a few episodes ago as well. Beautiful yarn. It's self-striping, but it also has like these little, I'll just have to show you. So it is self-striping, but it also has like these interruptions almost, which are really cool. So these are for me, so they are 64 stitches, and I use a 2.5mm needle. I'm doing a 2x2 rib up top. I typically do 16 rows of that, and then for the leg and the foot I'm doing a broken rib. And I got this idea from Amy from Noble Character Crafts. She did a pair like this, and I just loved the texture of them, so that's what I'm doing. So thank you, Amy. So I'm doing one round of knit 3 purl 1, and then the next round is just knit, and then you repeat. So it almost looks like it's this same rib throughout, but it's not. It does change. But yeah, it just makes them super squishy, and I don't know, I really like the texture that it gives. And you can never have too many knit socks. I've got a little stitch marker on here. It's a wooden butterfly. These also came from my sister-in-law Patience for Christmas. part of my Christmas gift. Oh, another part of her gift to me was a Swift. And my husband ended up getting me a ball winder, so together I finally was able to wind up a ball of yarn in less than an hour, which was awesome. Of course, this was a mini skein, but this is what I tried it out. This is the first thing that I used on my Swift and winder, and I cannot tell you what this yarn is. I talked about it a few episodes ago, but it's going to be the contrast heel for these socks because it's kind of matches the brown in there. But yeah, it's just, oh, moment of appreciation for that. I can't wait to use it again. Swift. Super fun, and it totally beats, I used to hang the yarn on a doorknob and then roll it on my finger, and it worked, but it was very frustrating because it would get tangled and it just took forever. So I'm so happy to have the tools to wind a ball of yarn efficiently. Okay, those are all the new projects. No, it's not. I lied. I am starting this massive project. This is a blanket for my sister. She, probably like 2.5 years ago, I was making blankets for basically everyone in the family. And I asked her, hey, send me a picture, like go on Pinterest and type in crochet blankets and send me a picture of what you want me to make you. And she picked out the most elaborate blanket that she could find. It's beautiful. And I said, okay, I'll make it. And then I never did. And then I learned how to knit, so I've just been knitting. So this year I told her, for your birthday, which is in September, I'm going to finally make this blanket. So I started it. Will it be done by September? Who knows? She's patient. It's fine. But I'll put a picture of it here. As you can see, it is quite the undertaking. It is one big square mandala surrounded by different squares around that, and I believe there's a border around that. Anyways, so I picked out the yarn for it. She wanted like a between a purple and blue theme, so I chose these colors. It's going to be a little wild, but I think it's going to be beautiful. So the colors are, this is a King Cole price-wise in the color white. This is just acrylic. And then the rest of these are paint box yarns. They're just 100% cotton. We have dolphin blue, washed teal, candy floss pink, pansy purple, and mauve. So I have got 4 squares done so far, 4 of the smaller squares that go around. And the first ones that I did, this is the very first one that I did. Right? Nope, this one is. Beautiful little pattern. And how I know this was the very first one is because I didn't think to weave in my ends as I was going. And look at this, look at this mess. After I finished this, I turned it around and I said, wow, I'm not going to do that for like 27 squares. No way. So I started weaving in my ends as I went and made quite the improvement. There are still a few that I couldn't do because some rows you end up having to go down into another row, and so I couldn't really carry the extra yarn through without you being able to see it. So there's still like 3 on the back that I'll have to weave in, but that is much better than this. So that was the first set that I did, the first square. There's 3 of them. And then I started this week on the second set of squares, which look like this. I really like this one with the flower in the middle. I did accidentally mix up the 2 blues. They're supposed to be flip-flopped, but no matter. So I really think this blanket is going to be so cool. the patterns for these are a little bit more, they require a little bit more brain power, so I have to do them whenever I can focus really well. I don't know. But I'm trying to make a goal of like 2 of the little squares a week, and then after I'm finished with those, I'll just work on the big mandala. Is that how you say that? I never know. So yeah, that is my biggest project at the moment. We'll see if it's done by September. Who knows? It'll be fine if it's not. I'm keeping it all in this giant basket just to keep it all together. Okay, now I have quite a few acquisitions to show. I can hear my daughter playing. She's supposed to be asleep. So, I have... Okay, the first thing I have... Sorry, I'm so scattered. The first thing I have is a new sewing pattern that I bought on Amazon that I cannot wait to use. This is a McCall's pattern, number 7948. Super cute. I really want to make this one right here. And honestly, I kind of want to use that same like blue gingham fabric. So maybe in a few weeks, I'll start working on this so that I can have it for spring. I just need to go get some fabric, of course. And next I have this little set of stitch markers that my sister-in-law gave me for my birthday. They're so cute. If you haven't watched the Great British Baking Show, do it. Such a fun show. So these are themed for the Great British Baking Show. If you've seen it, you'll know what these mean. There's one with a little pie and it says nobody likes soggy bottoms. We have the Hollywood handshake, the Star Baker, ready set bake. Oh, you can't really some little meringues. It says stiff peaks. And then the last one is the little tent that they bake in. Wow, the focus. Okay. Anyways, super cute. Love that show. And they're just little wooden stitch markers. Love them. Next I might have showed this to you guys already. It's been so long since I filmed, I can't remember anything. But I found this pattern that, actually, I think I might have found the yarn first. I was just on Lovecrafts. I was getting the yarn for that blanket, and I was almost to the free shipping, so I needed just a little bit more. But then I found this yarn that was on sale. So I bought 6 of them to have enough to make the sweater, which I don't know the name. I'll put it down here, and maybe I'll show a picture too. But I got this yarn, and oh, I can't wait. This is the Premier Anti-Pilling Bamboo Chunky, in the color, I think it's like lobster, yeah, blue lobster. This color, oh, you can't see it on camera, but it is like, it's almost like I don't know how to explain it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful blue. I don't know what that is. That doesn't belong in there. Oops. Beautiful blue. So soft. Like, oh my gosh. This does not feel like acrylic to me. This feels so, so soft. It almost feels like, almost the way Sherpa, like a Sherpa hoodie or something like that feels. That's what this feels like. It is 80% anti-pilling acrylic and 20% rayon from bamboo. So maybe it's the bamboo that gives it this softness, but I am so excited to knit with this. And the sweater that I chose, what I did, I bought the yarn and then I just went on Ravelry, put in, in the filters, this much of chunky yarn, find me a pattern, and I found that sweater, and the rest is history. As soon as I finish my Be Thankful cardigan, I will replace that project with this, and I'm stoked about that. Next acquisition that I have, for some reason, this video is going much quicker than the one that I already recorded that I had to delete. Don't know why, but I will take it. So, gosh, I'm so sorry about the noise. Back in December, I'm so sorry. Back in December, The Lonely Knitter on Instagram, I'll put her page down below, posted a little mini skein collection based on Call the Midwife, the show. And it's been a while since I watched it, but I used to watch it a while back, and I loved it. And it was fairly cheap, so I said, I'm gonna get them. Let's try it out. And these colors are so pretty. I don't know what in the world I'm gonna do with these yet, but they're fun to look at, and they're in my stash now, so yeah. Here they are. Whoops. So many of them. I opted for the 10 skeins of 10 grams, I believe is what they are. Yep. So I will show you all the colors. These are all 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So this one is called Dr. Turner, and it is it's like a very, very pale green. There are some dark spots in there. Next we have another green. This one is more of a like a key lime color. This one's called Fred Buckle. And this one does have a little bit of, you can see some different colors in there. We have this gray and yellow, which is Jenny Lee, which is very appropriate to me. When I think of Jenny Lee, I think of yellow for some reason. So yeah, that one. This one, which reminds me of cotton candy, is called A Strict Uniform. It's got some pink, some teal, some blue. Super, super fun. We've got this hot pink. This one is called Trixie. It seems to fit Trixie pretty well. This one is for Chummy. It is like an oatmeal colored. Really pretty, actually. There's a little bit of some different colors in there as well. This one's called Welcome to the East End. This one is almost like a purpley gray. And the lighting really, well, I guess it does. There's a little bit of yellow in here, but it's a very muted yellow. Very interesting. I like this one. We have this blue, which is called Nuns of Nonatus House. Different shades of blue in there. Very pretty. That reminds me of like a mermaid. Another blue. This is Sheila Turner. This one is more of a like aqua kind of blue. Beautiful, beautiful color. And then this one is called Nonatus House. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's been a long time since I've watched it. House Christmas. And this one is just a little bit of everything. We got some pinks and reds. We got some blues and yellow. There's some orange up here and some green. A little bit of purple. Super fun. So with all of these, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I still have a little bit. I have a whole skein of this this purple yarn that I think would go good with that, and I also have this cotton that kind of goes in. So like I'm kind of thinking about just making some sort of shawl and just integrating this all into one thing. I don't really know yet. I have also considered making socks. I don't know if there would be enough for socks, maybe like some ankle socks. These would be really fun in like some little springy ankle socks. Maybe I'll do that. We shall see. And I think that's all my acquisitions, and that's all I have to show. I felt like I had a lot to show, but I did speed through it, so I hope I touched on everything that I should have. I know I always leave something out, and my editing skills are not the best. I'm sure you guys have noticed this. I sometimes forget to put pictures in, or things don't make sense. But I will do my best to get all those pictures in so you can see everything. And as always, all of the links to the patterns and things such as that will be down below. And I think that's all I have today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I didn't ramble, not even ramble, but I hope I didn't like speed through too fast. I need a new phone is what it is. My battery is shot. I don't have enough storage. All the bad things that are working against me when I should be filming are there working against me. So maybe I'll get a new phone soon. That would be lovely. And yeah, that's all I have. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and happy knitting. That's all. Bye.